huge round of applause for Rose McGowan and Holly Marie Combs! Now, you guys, we're gonna do a stage shot. So pull out your cell phones right now. Pull out your cell phones and turn the flashlights on. Rose and Holly, if you guys want to come right here, stand right here on the X and face the photographer, and they will take a picture. On the count of three, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
Come back to safety, my darling.
Okay. Oh, they move all the furniture.
All right. Well, welcome.
Hi. Let me turn my phone off.
Give them a big hand. All right. Oh, it was very nice to meet both of you. Let me start off by saying happy birthday, Rose. It's still September, so it's still valid.
Yes.
Virgo season still.
Yep. And your birthday's in December, so we'll.
Yes.
But we're all
Happy
same
early
year,
birthday.
so we're all age appropriate.
And we're both 50 this year, and not feeling it at all.
At all.
Not feeling it.
Well, you're definitely not looking it.
Oh, well, thanks.
So let me start out. We're going to talk about being a little young, because you guys were both child actors and grew up in, well, 18 is still in my mind. I know you're legal,
She was a teen-ish
but you grew up
actor-ish.
in Hollywood as teenagers. I know that can be extremely difficult and has its own weird things attached to it. But was there anything good that came out of that, like growing in that weird environment, that you can still use today?
You know, well, I know for both of us, you have a very extended, large family. I have a very small, extended, weird family. So, you know, when it came to doing Picket Fences, which just had its 31st anniversary recently, I was 18, 19, and I got to have this weird family again, where, you know, I spent 4 years with, and I'm still friends with some of them. I still talk to many of them, and, you know, it's like a band of gypsies, and it kind of does that with every crew. You take some people with you, and you leave some others behind.
It kind of sets you up weirdly in life, because you start seeing situations and sometimes people as just temporary. It doesn't like help you like kind of retain bonds. It doesn't like educate you in that, but it also comes with a lot of positives, that you can make quick friends and go deep quickly and experience really intense moments together. And then, nice to know you. Maybe I'll see you again someday, probably at a convention.
That's not true. We talk all the time.
Not us.
Not us, them. But it's true. I actually, on the podcast, we just had an actor named Jeffrey, and he said he was very good friends with Bill Paxton, and he said, we're like the circus. We come to town, we have all these like ridiculous things, we eat at your restaurants, and then we pack up and leave.
Speaking, that leads me to the next thing I want to.
Festival of
Clearly.
A festival of freaks, for sure. The best kind.
Well, that also leads me to the next question, where outside of Hollywood, you have 2 restaurants, or do you have more? I heard 2.
There may be a third.
There may be, right now there's 2.5 restaurants.
Yes, thank you.
And how did you get into that?
My husband, he cooks a lot. But honestly, you know, I grew up in restaurants. My mom was a waitress, my grandmother was a waitress, my stepdad was a bartender. So if I wanted, you know, help with my homework, I had to go to the restaurant. And if I wanted to not feed myself, I had to go to the restaurant so somebody would feed me. So I grew up along that, like, that chatter and that noise and that environment that I'm so used to, you know, my guardians being at. And so it was kind of a natural progression for me and him.
Is it a special, what kind of food do you serve at these restaurants?
The first one is a diner. It's breakfast and lunch. Yeah, all the things. And the other one will be Italian and pizzas, because that's my wheelhouse.
There you go. Oh, I'm already thinking of a double cheeseburger at the diner.
We have that. We do.
And the fries, how well do you do the fries? Steak fries or thin fries? These are the hard-hitting questions that I will ask today.
Very thin, and he spent about 3 months just on the fries and getting them right. So
You got
they're
to.
pretty good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And Rose, you have a lot of outside activities, and you're an amazing activist, but what kind of things do you do to occupy your time when you're not out in the world? Like, what do you do for fun? Because
We're talking about the outside activities so we don't get a ticket from SAG.
Well, yeah. I'm going to unleash the crowd. They're going to do that.
Yes, our show is called Voldemort. We cannot say its name.
Any of their names. So I already said picket fences, but I can't promote that. It's already like 30 years later. I guess I could.
Yeah.
I could.
See if you get yelled at.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
We'll just move on in case.
We'll get a fine. Fine.
I live in Mexico and I drive a lot. I drive to remote locations. I was living in a fishing village of 500 people for a while where you had to drive about 2 hours to go to a grocery store or an ATM. And I live very close to a jungle and I see monkeys very often and I study them and observe them. They're just like us. They go home, literally, they swing across the treetops and go home at like 5:30 at night. And then they go to work at like whatever they do at 8 in the morning. They trot off that way. I fought snakes and scorpions in Hollywood, and here I am.
Okay, I thought you were going to say in Mexico. I was like, I'm not going anymore then.
So the last time I was in Mexico, there was a sign on the door saying, please close the door, otherwise the monkeys will get in. Do they break into your house often?
No, it's not. Where were you?
That was outside of, well, actually it was Belize. It wasn't.
Oh, it's Belize,
it was
yes.
close.
So
it was where the howler monkeys are.
These ones were they stay more in the treetops. They're not the ones that come down to the people. This is a really wild jungle.
Oh, so you're in deep.
Yeah.
And is it so peaceful out there that you just, like, you don't have to worry about anybody knowing who you are? You can be who you want to be?
Absolutely. And, I've certainly changed my look enough over the years to shake off a lot of people. And monkeys.
Not really.
Well, I am going to unleash the crowd on you if you'd like.
Unleash.
Quick reminder, please be succinct and direct, because as much as you want to ask a question, we have a whole line of wonderful people who would like to also ask a question. So we'll start with you. Your name?
My name's Araya,
Oh, that's nice.
and my question is, what is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh.
Are you guys Swifties?
Oh.
No. Not out of any, just purely because where I live, I'm on 3G phone service. And I don't stream things or listen to things, so probably the last time I heard her was the first time before Scooter Braun stole her catalog. I do know that. Touche. Get him, Taylor, get him.
And Holly, you're not a Swiftie?
Mine was something about rain. I can't remember the title. What is it? Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't have to Google it.
There are many human Googles in the form of young people. Thank you for your service.
All right. Next.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and this is my first con, and I came because of you guys.
Oh, thank you.
But Holly, I love the podcast, and I was wondering, on the podcast, you mentioned that every morning you wake up with a different song in your head. I was wondering what song you woke up with today, and for both of you, what is your guys' favorite genre of music?
Well, I do like country. I can't help it, but I do. And this morning, it is true. I don't know why. My brain just needs extracurricular activity, apparently, even when I'm sleeping. But it was Watermelon Moonshine this morning. Yep. What was the other question? There was 3, right?
What's your favorite genre?
Oh, I did that one already.
So Rose can answer.
Okay.
I'm kind of like, I'll go for, I have a playlist called Music to Kill Yourself To, which I don't recommend. But I go into like sad song mood, so it's more of like not a genre, but or like energy mix, or like happy times, or workout, or don't kill yourself.
Music
or,
to kill yourself by?
music to kill yourself to with a star, because I'm joking, people.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. More that, and it follows with, I messaged Shirley Manson this morning of Garbage, that band, and her sweet dog died. And so I was listening to this really beautiful song last night by a singer named Lisa Gerard, who did she's an incredible singer for a long, long time, and she did the vocals for the Gladiator theme song, right, if you can recall that. And I just listened to this beautiful, beautiful, haunting music. And I sent it to Shirley this morning. So that's my musical memory for the day.
So you made her cry.
I did, but
You sent her music to cry by.
But she knows. She knows
She gets it.
She gets it. And animals are worth crying over.
Absolutely. And you have a beautiful little dog I see on Instagram.
Perlita bonita.
How does he like the jungle, or she like the jungle?
How what?
How do they like the jungle in Mexico?
She loves it. She grew up from age 2 months old, and she's from Cuba, so she's very close geographically to her natural habitat. She grew up wild and free on a beach. I took her to some cities, and she went to a dog park. She's like, "Why am I in prison?" And I said, "I agree. Let's leave." And we went back.
I'm waiting for the picture of her and the monkey together in cute friends in the Mexican jungle.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her a little saddle.
Hi, my name is Jessie, and just like the girl before, I came to see you guys. And my question is there ever an actor or an actress that you just couldn't get along with?
Uh-oh.
Julian McMahon.
Oh,
I love Julian.
good answer.
But I didn't get along with him because he took so long to shoot with, because he was constantly trying to make everybody laugh. But at
Succeeded. He's
the
damn
12th
funny.
hour, that's annoying.
That's only because he would come in for 1 or 2 days.
Yes.
And so he was like, "I'm on," and we're like, "We're dead."
Yeah.
But we love Julian.
True story.
Thank you for coming, Jesse.
Hi, my name is Sherwood. I've been watching the show for over 5 times over. And I was just wondering, magic overall, what is the favorite magic that you have seen?
Our favorite magic that we have seen in life or on the show?
Let's go with life first.
Oh, because
and
we're
then
not
we'll
allowed to talk about the show.
Well, no, I just thought I want to see what kind of magic you're going to talk about.
So it's a hard habit to break. We've been programmed to promote, and now we're being deprogrammed. Magic in life. Well, I'll tell you this much. I think it's quite magical that this many people in this room still care about the thing we're not supposed to talk about. That is, it's pretty magical that we're like, it feels like we're on our 3rd generation. It's magical that it transcends. It's magical that it's still meaningful, because to me, it was 8 very meaningful years of my life. I was blood, sweat, tears, a lot of Piper tears over the years, and so I'm glad it worked out for everybody.
I stopped going to magic shows because they make me mad, because it hurts my brain. Because I stare at the I'm like, what the fuck? Do that. And then I end up with this headache. I would go to this place called the Magic Castle in Los Angeles, which is it's a really cool place, and it's really fun. I think card tricks, like sleight of hand, close up, is really, I just commend the people that can do that, because the practice and dedication to hurting other people's brains is pretty impressive. My least favorite is ventriloquists, not that you come across them very often. But when you do, I start imagining this poor person's life by themselves, staring in a mirror, with their hand up a doll. And I'm like, what kind of life is that? And I start getting very depressed. So magic, I will say, every time I'm on an airplane, I fantasize about having Paige's powers of orbing, because I would never have to be on an airplane. That would have been the best.
Nice
Thank
question.
you, Erwin.
Hey, I'm Ashley. You guys have brought us all a lot of joy over the years. What is bringing the most joy to your lives right now?
Well, in earlier years, I would have said my children.
Now they're teenagers.
But they're all teenagers now. Every single one of them. And, my youngest is making all these promises that he's never going to become like his brothers did. Suddenly overnight, they just woke up, and they were just angsty attitude-ridden teenagers. And they smelled. Like overnight. It's somewhere between like 16 and, well, one was 15, one was 16, where they just woke up angry. And I go, wow, it's like a werewolf, like they just changed. And they do get more hairy, especially mine. And so my youngest, who's 14, is trying to hang tough. And he says he's never gonna be like that. He's never gonna become that. But he just got his first pair of AirPods. And so he's walking around the house with them. And they're always on and in his face. And I went, you know, I say something like, did you clean your room? And he goes, huh? And I'm like, well, if you take that out of your head, you can hear me speak. And so it's beginning, like this is the first like little inkling that it's like, the huh? It's happening. I was like, just so you know, that's where it starts. Spreading.
For me, and I think this is true for probably maybe a lot of people, is that it's a pretty scary time in the world right now, and it's been a bit scary for a while, and it seems to be getting a bit more intense as the days go by. So I just recommend looking for tiny joys and sticking them together, stitching them together, you know, into the greater fabric of your life, instead of like big moments. It's a little tiny moments. Like I went to an aviary this morning and had a really nice conversation with a lonely bird. I felt good about that.
Hi, my name is Mary. I am the oldest of 3, so I loved growing up with something so charming.
Nice one.
Just wondering if, how Shannon is doing and if she may be able to, I know she's terminal, so I'm just hoping she can come back next year, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she was with us last weekend in Tampa, and she's got more stamina than I do. She was standing at the table longer than any of us, and she made sure to stay later so she could meet everybody that was in line. You know, and this week she's in treatment, and next week she won't be, and she'll be with us in San Antonio. So I will put Utah on the list for her.
Hi, I'm Haley, and I was wondering, what is your favorite movie that you've ever done?
That we've ever done? I'm still waiting for it. Yeah, you know, I think everybody has to do one horror movie in their life, so I did one. It was bad, but it was a good time for me at the time. Yeah, so it was a good experience. But yeah, I'm still waiting on mine.
I did a horror movie and it was really good. It was called Scream. Sorry, Dr. Giggles.
That's okay. Don't say the names.
So I didn't see Holly's movie, unfortunately.
That's okay.
I did see Scream. Fantastic death, by the way. Did you survive your movie?
I did.
Okay.
I did. What do they call that? You told me this.
Final Girl, for fuck's sake.
I don't know. I only did one.
Although I think Cherry Darling and Planet Terror was definitely a Final Girl.
Yes.
So you didn't have to actually, were you covered in blood for most of the movie, or what kind of horror movie was it? Psychological thriller?
No, it was very campy, very gory, it was too soon. It was too soon to be laughing at such things, I think. And Scream kind of, you know, did that and totally got away with it, but at the time it was just a little too out there.
Well, we're glad you survived.
Thank you. I am too.
Hi there, I'm Kim. So, going past, present, possibly future, what's a project that you would like to be involved in? Like I Love Lucy, Doctor Who, Star Wars, anything.
Oh, I said that's cool. I said it to myself, but you heard me.
I did.
For me, like, if I could have come in a different form, I realized I'd done movies because I liked the male character in the script I read, and then I got there and I was like, wait, that's not me, and I'm not playing that role. So I will use that with like, you know, I would have liked to have been Lawrence of Arabia. I would have liked to have been Doctor Who. I would have liked to have been Cary Grant. I would have liked to have been, there are many, many. The list could go on and on and on.
I'm just still stuck in SVU. And they're still ignoring me. So I think if I say it enough times, somebody's gonna have to like either be like, no, Holly, or you can be in like a 5-minute part and then we're gonna kill you, just so be quiet about it.
Careful what you wish for. I watched a 10-hour marathon of it with my sister one day. And she's like, so one day you have to do an episode just for me. So when the time came, I did one. And be careful what you wish for, because next thing I know, my whole family is watching me, and the storyline is like an incestuous brother thing. I'm like...
Yeah, with Ryan, who's here.
Ryan who?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
That was Ryan?
Yeah.
He was my brother in
I
that?
think so.
Dear God, I saw him like at a con a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I was like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I blocked it off.
Well, he does look different right now. I think it was Ryan. I don't know. Now we're gonna have to Google it.
Well, Ryan Hurst.
Yeah. Oh, pretty sure it was.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
You also got to befriend Peter.
Yes,
O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole and I were friends until the end of his life. I did kind of a goofy horror movie called Phantoms. Goofy to me, sorry if you like it. But it was, from that movie we became friends, and one of my favorite memories is when Peter O'Toole, who's a star of Lawrence of Arabia, a very, very famous classic film, when he was very, very old, he was getting his hand in his footprints in front of the Chinese theater, and he stood up out of his wheelchair, and he had a very elegant white suit on, and I had a white dress on, and I stood up, and he gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he whispers in my ear, darling, let's run away together and start a scandal. And he was like 89.
And then
I
you
loved
guys
him.
were married.
Forever. He was the best.
Amazing.
My kind of actor.
Hello, my name's Holly.
Hi.
And I have 15 siblings who inspire me every day. And I have a sister who's a cancer survivor. But who inspires you in your everyday life? Just doesn't necessarily have to be an actor, just who inspires you too.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, definitely Shannon. You know, we've been friends for 30 years, and she's never been tougher than she is today. And, you know, she sticks to her guns, and she's very true to herself. And she has the strength that is holding her through this. And oftentimes me. Yeah, we've gone through some great times in our lives and some really hard times. And so it's, you know, it's probably one of the longest relationships of my life. Don't make me cry, because you know what? She would hit me if I cried up here. She would punch me.
For me, it's the quiet heroes. I wonder often as I look at grocery store prices, you know, and I reflect back to, you know, when my mom was a single mom with 6 kids, and it's the single dads and the single moms and the ones who are just doing it and making it work and making it happen and loving their family. Much respect.
16 kids. Your mom inspired.
I know, that hurt my uterus when you said that.
Hi, I am just wondering, what has been your favorite, what was your favorite part of filming Voldemort?
Well, yeah, like I said before, it's, you know, coming from a not quite normal life, there's something to be said for having a job every day and a place to go to every day, and that's sort of like continuous sort of a family and a place to go to. And so for me, it very much became that. I mean, like I made a family by meeting someone on the crew. So like my child would come and, you know, it was very much a family-like atmosphere for me.
For me, it was, I liked all the different guest stars. I liked never knowing who was going to show up, in that episode, and how much dedication a lot of them brought to it, and respecting how hard it was for them to come into a formed family and be the new person. I went to a lot of schools and was always the new kid, and I know that path. And I think just in general, just also the crew, fighting through exhaustion and bringing their best work on a daily basis. And this one.
Were there any guest stars that you knew were coming that kind of went, ooh, this is super exciting? Because I feel like, as someone like yourself who's a big movie fan and in general, and also just, do you get excited when certain people like, oh, I can't wait to meet this person? Or is it more this person's coming in, punch the clock?
I grew up watching Charlie's Angels, so Cheryl Ladd was a big deal for me. Big deal. I mean, she was terribly evil on the show, but it was fun anyway. And I think we were both super excited about Pat Benatar, as one would be.
Love is a battlefield.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, we were lucky to have so many.
I never knew who was going to be there in advance. No one told us. They would just be there.
So which one freaked you out the most? Like, oh my God.
Well, apparently my incestuous brother in Law & Order SVU.
Well,
but it wasn't Ryan per se, it was the character. Go ahead, next.
Holly, you and I share a birthday, so I've always followed you, love you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want you guys to both know that I think you're amazing. But the question is, I mean, my question kind of has already been answered by Rose, because you sound like you live on vacation. But my question was what is a favorite vacation destination you've had, or maybe a dream vacation you'd like to go on?
Well, I get to go to New Zealand this year for one of these. So that's a pretty miraculous thing about doing these conventions. We end up all over the place. Paris is kind of a home base for us, which is super bizarre, but true. We're super popular in France for some reason, and Australia. Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, so I kind of get to check that one off the bucket list this year.
My favorite trip I've ever taken was Afghanistan. And I went with the USO, and it was kind of at the height of things in 2010, 2011. And I like going places and doing things that other people generally don't want to go to or do. It's not a vacation where I live. I work there too, I just don't talk about it, but thank you.
Here, wrangle the monkeys.
Hi, I'm Mariah Anderson. I watched the show so many times, and I love you guys so much. I was wondering if what's it like filming in the 90s and filming nowadays?
Oh, there's a few differences. Everything's digital now. That was a rude awakening. Because with film, it's all kind of beauteous and smooth, and with digital, you're you can see every crevice in everyone's face. Which I think is sometimes too much information.
Well, I mean, I think it was the sports people that wanted to see the grass close up that kind of ruined it for all of us. Sports people.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Some of us are not built for 4K.
Yeah. It's just too much information.
A little mystery.
Yeah.
The difference, was that when it was on film versus digital, when the actual camera rolled, you were under a lot of pressure. You usually had about 3 takes to get it, so you couldn't just waste time, really.
Or film, because it was an actual thing.
It was an actual thing, and I miss the process of that, the sound of it. It was different. I liked that, and it connected me a lot more to the art of cinema. I think digital. There's some really cool aspects of it. There's a lot of things you can do that you couldn't do within the restrictions of actual classical filmmaking, but I kind of liked the pressure to have to get it right. And I think also, I don't know about you, but I think some things feel more disposable now. And I don't like that feeling so much, yeah. I like things that last, but that's why it's awesome that we're here with you, and you're here with us. Love you guys.
Did you ever want to take that feeling of pressure and do live theater? Because there's no more pressure
God,
than that.
no.
No.
Well,
That sounds terrifying.
so you're happy with having at least 1 or 2 takes, but more than 3 or 4, leave me alone.
I just didn't come up in theater. I was discovered, so I'd never had that, yearning to act from a young child, perform for people.
I think it's a different type of skill.
It's a different skill set, yeah. And also it's, there were times I asked agents about it, and they were the wrong people to ask because, of course, they don't want to miss out on making money. So they always advised me against it. Never know, but I have great respect for theater actors. The volume of what you have to memorize. I think there's a certain high that they got that we never did.
Yeah, and it's very spontaneous. And, I've talked to people who've done it, and there's just such a high they get from it that they sort of crave it. But with me, acting was very sort of, my goal was to be as natural as possible while you're aware of the other alien in the corner, which is your camera. Hello. See, I'm aware of it. Which was your friend that you were supposed to respect and find your light and all the things. So you're used to it being, the person you're acting off of and the alien being. And, being on a stage like this, some people do 2-person plays, and I just go, whew, that's a lot of entertainment necessary to entertain folks for at least 2 hours.
But it's a different discipline, you have to, I got so disciplined with my body, I could ask a director, would you like the tear to come out the left or the right side, depending on where your camera was gonna be. And I would then go away and it would go down the right side because that's where the camera was, and it just, you become like it's kind of like an Olympian athlete in a way, like a real machine, but one that has to go through and feel a lot. And there's also, certainly things that theater actors don't always transition well to film, like they're acting to the back row, and on a camera, a tight close-up, you can have your eye on camera and transmit that you dislike somebody sitting across from you. It's a totally different world, but I respect people that can go back and forth.
Question.
Yes, if you could create an ideal role for where you are in life now, but they had to have a quirky backstory, what would that role be? And who would you want to play your supporting character?
Wow. I feel somewhat semi-retired, so I don't have big aspirations. I keep trying to get out, and they keep trying to pull me back in. But the first thing that came to mind when you said that was somebody needs to do a good new Jessica Fletcher.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah. See, I didn't say the name. I didn't say the name of the show, so I'm not like promoting like.
I can say it, you can't.
Something to make. No, forget it. Yes, Murder, She Wrote would be a good one. Yeah, that would be exciting. Wholesome-ish. Ish.
Only a few dead bodies.
Just, yeah, but.
Of course, there's a theory that she is just a massive serial killer because everywhere she goes, she kills someone. Someone dies.
That too.
Yeah.
I like that theory. It's how I watched the original Sex and the City. In my head, I made it so the Sarah Jessica Parker character had schizophrenia, and she was
always talking to herself?
Was always talking to herself. When she was at the cafe with all four, she was really just there by herself.
I like that too.
That's how I watched that show. It made it tolerable.
So Jessica Fletcher / Dexter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's solving her own crimes.
Oh, I love it. That's a lot of work.
Well, we got time for one more question. So I apologize for anybody waiting, but we did try to get to as many as possible.
Hi, my name is Talene. My question is, well, I guess, okay, I was dropping my daughter off at college, and Voldemort came on while we were at the hotel.
Yes.
And the costumes, like, I was looking at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, the fashions of the 90s, and she was like, oh no, my friend wore that the other day to a job interview, and literally, like, so I guess my question is, what do you guys think? Like, should that fashion come back? Were there ever outfits you were uncomfortable wearing, or?
You know, we were just talking about this on the podcast the other day, where like season 1 and 2, Piper just had way too many sweater sets. Like, who does that? Not even Jessica Fletcher does that. Way too. I was just far too agreeable in those days where I was like, yeah, sure, it's fine.
The 90s movies, because I joined Charmed in 2001, so skating on that line, but I would say for the 90s movies I did, my characters generally had very cool style, primarily because I worked really hard at it. Like Tatum in Scream, I styled her, and the red and white striped pants and the white boots, those were mine. But in Charmed, like I would say, I've always hated low-rise bootcut jeans, and so that was a negative. And I see them in stores now, I'm like, oh, you're gonna regret that, you're gonna regret that. What they don't know is what they'll regret.
Yeah, the classics come back and stick around, and I'm not sure
hoping
we had
boot cut, that low rise, where like that Frankie B jean. I could see like people's pubic hair. I was like, this is a big no for me.
I think there's a
no.
few still in my closet. I'm gonna need to auction those off for charity. Put them to good
Zipper
use.
was like that tall. I'm like, oh.
Thank God I was going to wear that, and I'm glad we didn't do that.
Thank you. Thank you for
but-
not sharing that with us.
That was our last question, so please give a huge FanX welcome and thank you to Holly Marie Combs, Rose McGowan, and please, their Hero Weekend pictures, photos, autographs.
You guys, one more time, can you please give a huge round of applause for Rose and Holly? Give them a thank you for being here. Thank you so much.